If we never got introduced to any other schools or any other wizarding community, is it necessary to introduce?
You're like, you jerk, you donated to the hospital? Oh, you donated to the hospital?
Right?
That's... Man, we're back, Jeremiah. We're back.
We are.
Life is crazy, man. Life is crazy. I feel like the last several weeks we'll have the night set aside and then something will happen.
Yeah, you were like, let's plan on Tuesday. Monday
Yeah, I
came
was like,
around.
yeah.
I was like, there's no way I can even.
I was like, Tuesday, we got this. And then you're like, we can't do Tuesday. And then you're like, wait, we can do Tuesday. And I was like, man, I'm on my way to fix some equipment at the gym. So, but it's been a good week for me. Every year, one of the newspapers here does a best of Haywood County. So I live in Western North Carolina in Haywood County. And they've got, all the categories: health, fitness.
I know where you're going with this because I seen the Facebook post.
Oh, did you see the Facebook
I
post?
did.
Yeah. So my office, Waynesville Chiropractic, we won best chiropractor in Waynesville, which is pretty cool.
It is. Congratulations, man.
Yeah,
That's
thank
awesome.
you. It's not like I live in a huge metropolis. There are in the county there might be 6, 7, 8, chiropractors.
Yeah.
But my massage therapist, she also won best of Haywood County. So that
So
we've
two
been-
people, same building.
Yeah, she's
Nice.
she's in the building, so it's cool.
Nice.
We're in the paper, and so that's fun. We get a lot of so we've been getting a lot of calls this week, about that, and it's
Just
funny.
wait till they go around and start hey, how are these gymnastic teams going? Oh, Andrew, you got best gymnastics.
Well, I was telling the gentleman from the newspaper, because he's come in several times just to talk about it, and I've told you we've been looking for a building for a long time.
Yeah.
There's a good chance I met the right guy
Nice.
that's got a building coming available within the next few weeks that we might be able to jump into, which that would be huge. That would
be
just
huge.
be.
Well, you
that
said
would
you
be
got a
super
wait
cool.
list of what, 130?
We got 150 kids as of right now on the wait list, and all of our kids now. I think we've got around 70 kids. Where what we've got now, and they all do gymnastics one time a week, and they're all
That's
like,
still a lot. That's a lot.
they're like, we want to do it 2 to 3 times a week. We got kids that we want to compete, and that's I like competitive gymnastics. I love competition, which is why I really enjoyed this chapter. Right, I really enjoyed this chapter, and I loved, the chapters from a plot position. Some of these chapters, they give us, little things that are going to help the plot, but it's like, Harry walking around at a big event, oh yeah, like I've been to college basketball tournaments and the NBA tournaments and so it's really cool. So to come into this chapter where the actual tournament, and I think J.K. Rowling does such a good job
yeah.
of really recognizing and riding the electric atmosphere of
She
a
actually
sporting
does do it
event
pretty good. Yeah.
with 100,000 spectators. So yeah.
Let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's
Welcome
get
back,
into it.
Witches, wizards, and muggles to Squib's Corner. I am Jeremiah.
And I'm Andrew, and tonight, as we've just mentioned, we're jumping into Chapter 8, the Quidditch World Cup of Book 4, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Before we go over Chapter 7, Bagman and Crouch, again, we just want to give a huge thank you, a huge shout out to all of our listeners and viewers, depends on which you prefer. I like to watch the podcasts. I like to laugh because I think we're both ridiculous. so I love to watch it, but it's just so fun to read the comments, to get the thumbs up, to get the likes. Every time we get more subscribers, it's like, oh, that's so cool. That's we're obviously doing this for fun.
Yeah, and I
Jeremiah
found
and
another
I.
guest, too. I was scrolling through TikTok, and I seen someone showing off her Harry, she has a
Ooh.
lot of Harry Potter tattoos.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you want to be a guest? She's like, yeah. So I'm like,
Nice.
yes.
Good, good,
But
good, good.
we haven't got to a point where anything is guest worthy yet. We got a few lined up still, and
Yeah, I
they're
think
they're
we'll.
just waiting.
Yeah, we'll get some. I think we're gonna get my wife in this book. I think
Yeah.
I told her, I was like, pick a chapter.
I think that's what I'm gonna have guests start doing. I'm gonna, hey, you want to be a guest? Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Pick
pick a
a chapter.
chapter.
This is the
Yeah.
book. Pick a chapter. So
Smart,
yeah.
smart. Let's do it.
That way,
So
you guys can come in more excited about
yeah,
the podcast.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I love it. So again, everyone, thank you so much. So
Yes, thank you.
recap chapter 7. It is the day of the World Cup. It's the day of the final. Harry, Ron, Hermione, they're walking around. They're super excited. They're people watching. They're looking at wizarding families. We meet wizards from around the world. We learn that there are schools outside of Hogwarts, which makes sense when you say it. But I think up until this point, we're just so locked into Hogwarts and the Harry Potter universe. You really don't even, there wasn't a need to think about it. So super cool. And we meet 2 super important people that are very important to the plot of this book. We meet Ludo Bagman, who's the chair of magical games and sports, and then we meet Barty Crouch. And so they are both ministry professionals who are so opposite in their demeanor, their professionalism, their looks, their maturity. I mean, this is great. And Percy is
Weatherby.
Weatherby. That's right. Weatherby is a direct subordinate of Barty Crouch. So later that day, starts to get darker. We hear this bang, and it's like, boom, time to go. And that leads us into chapter 8, the Quidditch World Cup.
So before we get into the 7-word summary, I wanted to ask if we never got introduced to any other schools or any other wizarding communities. It just stayed Hogwarts, Harry Potter, and we never learned about anything else. I guess the question is it necessary to introduce that stuff? Would it change anything if they didn't?
To the entirety of the plot, no. Of the 7-book series, no. No, I don't think so. But for the book, and not necessarily Beauxbaton, however you want to pronounce it, Beauxbaton, the what you would kind of feel, I guess, it's almost alluded to in the book. So we meet 2 other specific schools in this book. Beauxbaton, which is a predominantly French, and then Durmstrang, which is kind of given this German feel to it, even though Viktor Krum, who we've learned of, he goes to Durmstrang, but obviously he plays for Bulgaria. Durmstrang is brought up a handful of times in the books as it relates to other dark wizards and the Deathly Hallows and different things that we learn. So, but like I think it could have been worked in even without that.
Yeah, even just a brief mention. Oh, this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because it is really important. We learn that there are other wand makers, right? That Durmstrang prefers. The Deathly Hallows mark was there because of Grigorovich, who was friends with Dumbledore, and he was at that school. So, it's cool. It does play a little part in the plot. Obviously, a huge part in the plot of Book 4, but not necessarily a huge
because I
part
know
in the seven books.
Consensus out there of the Goblet of Fire is kind of down the middle. Some people love it. Some people find it completely unnecessary. It's just completely different from the book, from the series as a whole. So
Yeah.
almost unnecessary, but I understand trying to introduce new schools, new wizarding thing, new types of magic, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
you can get a little stale, a little stagnant just doing the same thing. So
Well, and it's interesting. I have some feedback on the Triwizard Tournament. Like I feel, and if you were to ask most people, right? In all of Europe, do you think all of Europe would have been limited to 3 wizarding schools? Most people would say, no, we don't meet any Italians in this book, right? We don't meet any Polish. We don't meet any Spanish, right? Students in this. So you think, so it's like, why would it just be Triwizard? And I think the biggest, feedback is there's no need for this tournament to take all school year.
Yeah.
It's literally 3 tasks.
I'm wondering if
You know what I'm saying? So,
I'm wondering if the HBO series can kind of save this book.
here's, here
Like,
is
my favorite scene is the graveyard. My favorite part of the book is the graveyard.
well, if they're doing 8 to 10 episodes, and during the Harry Potter preview.
And that being said, I seen something today that said they're wrapping up season 1 already.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, so if they're doing 8 to 10 episodes, I mean, legitimately, you can get through the Quidditch World Cup in 1 episode, right? I think they'll do picking up Harry, from the Dursleys and then going to the Burrow, and then maybe the first 2 episodes that will be. And then, obviously the next chapter, the Dark Mark, right? That's a super cool. Is it the next?
It is the next chapter.
Yeah, it should be.
I was a little disappointed that it wasn't part of this chapter, honestly.
I mean, I can get it. I get it because a lot of things happen in the Dark Mark. If you haven't read it recently, a lot of little things happen in that chapter that are important, which are cool. So so to answer your question, no, the whole school thing I think is neat for this book, not necessarily crucial for but again, we see main characters from each school.
There's a lot introduced that's conducive to the plot. So
Yep.
And it's just a big shock that it's so much different from the rest of the series. I think that's what it is.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, let's get into that 7-word summary, Andrew. So I kept it super simple. Fun chapter. However, it's just a prelude.
Yeah. And I did Quidditch like you've never seen it before.
Oh,
right?
yeah. That's
that's we're talking best of the best Quidditch.
Yeah, and you're right. She does do a good job. Like, as you're reading this chapter, you kind of forget that, man, a sportscaster could have, typed this out.
Yeah.
She did a good job.
Yeah.
All right. 7 chapter notables. As I was going, they were, like, I was marking them and everything, and then it just got to the Quidditch match, and I went, that's kind of the end of the 7 the chapter notables, really. So
yeah.
It was a little bit of a struggle. So, number 1, we've talked about the Shielding Charm, or in this case, the Muggle Shielding Charm. Number 2, wink, wink. Number 3, Veela. 4, yes, good old vanishing gold. Number 5, Krum. Number 6, remember the Weasley twins bet? Ireland wins, but Viktor Krum gets the snitch. Number 7, let's collect the winnings. Sorry, everybody. My allergies are just... Ooh.
I've got to say,
Ooh.
I'm surprised you didn't put Winky as one of the chapter notables. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. I was like, wow, okay. Because just so you know, I never read your scripts before.
Yeah, whenever I tell you, I'm done, you can add to it. He's not going to add to it.
I'm like, no, because I want to see, like, I like to see, okay, what did he, because you and I read it with different perspectives, right?
Yeah.
I like to see, okay, what did he, because you and I read it with different perspectives, right? I like to see, okay, what did he, because you and I read it with different perspectives, right? I like to see, okay, what did he, because you and I read it with different perspectives, right? I like to see, okay, what did he, because you and I read it with different perspectives, right? I like to see, okay, what did he, because you and I read it with different perspectives, right? I like to see, okay, what did he, because you and I read it with different perspectives, right? I like to see, okay, what did he, because you and I read it with different perspectives, right? I like to see, okay, what did he, because you and I read it with different perspectives, right? I like to see, okay, what did he, because you and I read it with different perspectives, right? I like to see, okay, what did he, because you and I read it with different perspectives, right? I like to see, okay, what did he, because you and I read it with different perspectives, right? I like to see, okay, what did right? You and I are reading it, and so it's like, okay, I like to see what were his chapter notables? What were I like one of my chapter notables would have been, you speak English?
Yeah, that was funny.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's just different things in there, and I love to see it. And I always want to be super honest. So like, if you have pop quizzes in there, I don't want to. Because when we do the script, if you're listening, if you're watching, when we do pop quizzes, we just write pop quiz. We don't write what the question is.
Well, I have the question and the answer on my side, but I erased it off of your side.
I see. So when I write pop quiz, I literally have a Post-it note on my computer
That's
what
I was doing, but I decided to try this.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually found one that just said pop quiz, and I said, what? I don't remember what this was, so I just took it out.
I like it.
All right, so we'll move on to the first chapter. Clutching
First paragraph. You made an Andrew mistake.
I
do that. I do that all the time.
Back to the first chapter, everybody.
Chapter 1, book 1, The Boy Who Lived.
Yeah, there you go.
Deja vu.
Clutching their purchases. And the first time I read that, I said, why are they clutching their purses?
That's so you.
Clutching their purchases, Mr. Weasley in the lead, they all hurried into the wood, which confuses me because I keep wanting to say woods. They all hurried into the wood, following the lantern-lit trail. They could hear the sound of thousands of people moving around them, shouts and laughter, snatches of singing. The atmosphere of feverish excitement was highly infectious. Harry couldn't stop grinning. They walked through the wood for 20 more minutes, talking and joking loudly, until they finally emerged on the other side and found themselves in the shadow of a gigantic stadium. Though Harry could see only a fraction of the immense gold wall surrounding the field, he could tell that 10 cathedrals would fit comfortably inside of it.
Comfortably. And I love how everything with the Quidditch World Cup is a 20-minute walk. It was a 20-minute walk from the port key to the cottage, and now it's a 20-minute walk to the to the stadium. So, yeah, I love it. I love how they walk through the woods.
There's a lot to see in that 20-minute walk too. I mean,
yeah, and to see, just to see all of the people around and to hear the people before you get to the stadium. Like, you're already, the picture is painted great. And then he walks up and you see this huge stadium with golden walls. And they're talking about cathedrals, sitting comfortably in it. Like, I think it paints a great picture.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So here's something that we may or may not seem excessive. I get it that it's the Quidditch World Cup. But at the same time, Arthur tells Harry that there's a ministry task force of 500 people setting this up for like a year. Yeah. Like they've been working on it for a while. And
Bertha Jorkins is
she's gone. She's gone. But we got 500 people building this stadium.
Setting
it's
up
like
a sports ball game.
Yeah, and it's like, why don't you just call Dumbledore? Hey, Dumbledore, we need a stadium. I got you. Let me just dash there, dash back. You know what I'm saying? So, but the main highlights are being chapter notable number 1. The stadium has muggle-repelling charms set up at every inch. Now, this is not the first building that we've heard that has muggle-repelling charms. Hogwarts being one, but what's the first wizarding location that we see in the books that has muggle-repelling charms to it?
Kind of want to say no. Muggle. I'd say Hogwarts, but
close.
I would assume the Weasleys.
What? Okay.
Oh no! Nocturne, Diagon Alley. There we go.
So what's guarding Diagon Alley?
The brick wall.
Oh, and what's
the bar?
The leaky cauldron.
The leaky cauldron.
Yeah. So Harry gets there, and he sees the one thing, and Hagrid walks up to this pub, and Harry's like, "Oh, where did this thing come from?" right? And it shows that the Muggles are just walking right by it, and none of them even notice the place. So we assume that there are different levels of Muggle-repelling charms. Hogwarts, obviously, huge, and the Quidditch World Cup, huge. And obviously, we've talked about that in previous books. And there's several ways to go about the shielding charm, or in this case, this Muggle-repelling charm. Mr. Weasley, Arthur explains that every time Muggles have gotten anywhere near here at all, they've suddenly remembered urgent appointments and had to dash away again. Bless them.
I mean, that's if that happened to me, that happens to me all the time. So I wouldn't think nothing of it.
Yeah. And it's such a funny charm too, because you're like, from what we know of this location, it's a camping spot.
Yeah.
Right? So they've cleared their schedule. They're on a vacation. They're like, yeah, we're going to go camping. Let's go exploring. They get to the other side of the wood, and then they're like, oh, no, there's this really important thing that I've got to do. Let's go back to the campsite. And then they're like, wait, what did we have to do?
Yeah. I was going to say, in my case, I walk into a room and go, I guess I'm going to go lay back down because I don't know why I'm in here.
I don't know why I'm in here.
My grandma, when she got, when she started getting sick with her cancers, she walked into her room and go, are you okay? Because she's just standing there. I can't remember why I came in here. It's maddening. I said, oh, yeah. That happens to me every day.
We get you.
What?
We get you, Grandma. We get you, Grandma.
So it's been happening to me for a long time, and I'm not old. It pays to know people, even in the wizarding world. Now, Andrew, why would I be saying this? Where would a family sit at the biggest game of all time, knowing that they couldn't even afford the tickets in the first place?
Government collusion. That's government collusion. There was a government cover-up, and Ludo Bagman bribed Arthur Weasley. That's as simple as that.
Yeah. And exactly between the goalposts, with 20 purple gilt chairs waiting for them. Now, Andrew, it says purple and gilt chairs. Can you tell me what the word gilt is describing?
Purple and gilt.
Gilt.
Chairs. Gilt chairs.
It might be jilt.
Well, it's got to be a British term, right?
I didn't get the origin of it.
I mean, it's got to be like, it's not a word that
I just know when I came up to it, it said purple and gilt. What does that mean?
I assume purple and gilt chairs. It's either another color or like a fabric, like what the chair is made out of. Because it's just, I feel like it's still just purple and gilt chairs. So maybe it's another term for glitter. I don't know. Like, that's a great question.
You're pretty close. Let me see what percent you give yourself. So gilt means covered with a thin layer of gold, indicating that the chairs are very expensive, fancy, and designed for VIPs.
I feel pretty good about it. I feel like I wouldn't be valedictorian of that question, but I don't think I failed the question. Purple and gilt. So thin layer of gold covered. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So, as the Quidditch or the pitch, I guess the Quidditch stadium is getting filled up. And you answered this question before we even started the podcast. So
world's greatest. I am so good at pop quizzes. Yeah. I answer them before they even get asked.
Well, I had asked this question last chapter, and you argued with me. So as they look onto the pitch, how many witches and wizards does it say were taking their seats?
100,000.
Yes.
100,000. Yeah.
Yeah, and last chapter you said I was wrong and it wasn't canon, but then the next chapter proved that I was right.
It was exactly. Now I will say this in past Andrew's defense. We only in that chapter, up to that chapter, we only knew that there were 2 campgrounds. And Harry only saw hundreds of tents. So if we see hundreds of tents in one campground and hundreds of tents in another campground, that doesn't give me 100,000.
Well, you got to think of the what is it called? I want to say extendable charm. Like
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Like there,
so.
yeah, there had to be so many. Yeah. So, on behalf of past Andrew, we would like to apologize for arguing with you. It is canon.
Yes. So, I'm not sure what I think about this, and I kind of want to get your opinion on this. So, on the pitch, there was also blackboards playing ads. What do you, in the magical community, ads playing on a blackboard?
Well, I think.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's just one blackboard, right?
Oh, either way, a blackboard.
Well, so here's what I think. So she could be referencing a chalkboard, as we call them,
thinking. Yeah.
or it could just be a big black board, right? Because she tries to make everything that the wizarding world does different.
Yeah.
From the way that the Muggles do it, right? So we'd have a big LED screen. Or, this is obviously back in the 90s. This was written 20 years ago. A big screen with different ads that pop up. And so, you could see a big black board up there that's been bewitched to that writing shows up.
It's easier to read and see the ads, whereas
Sure.
if they just kind of put the ads in the air, which is what I imagine.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know. I thought, well, first of all, there's ads playing. Didn't expect that.
I loved it. I thought it was.
It makes sense, but it's not something I don't think anybody expected.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just expect something a little bit more extravagant rather than it just playing on a blackboard. But
do you remember any of the ads that were written?
No, not at all.
Because the first one's a little controversial. Not controversial.
He just gave me a look like Peter Griffin excited about something.
Well, Peter. The first one is about a broomstick that's like a family-sized broomstick.
Wow.
Right? And so you're like, but wait a second. Nobody in the whole series, except for the only time we see people use brooms as a mode of transportation is when Dumbledore and Harry in book 6 are at Hogsmeade. They get it from Madame Rosmerta, and they fly to Hogwarts.
That, and then the seven Potters.
Yeah, but that was under cover of night, and that was to
It's still a mode of transportation.
It still is a mode of transportation, but you're like, how are they selling family-sized broomsticks?
See, I hate to keep bringing it up because after this HBO series is over with and you're listening to our podcast, it's going to sound weird, but maybe that's something they could put in there. Like, these average wizarding families just doing what they do in the background.
I don't see them adding that much.
Yeah, probably not.
And I do.
They could.
Yeah, I do hope. I was not to bring up too much off topic, but I was watching some of the snippets from that, and I was listening to John Lithgow's, snippet of interview, and how he used the term reimagine the canon. And right after that, he's like, we get to see things that are off in the periphery, basically. That but. When he says reimagine the canon, like Snape being black, right? That would be reimagining the canon. I don't
think of it as just what he said, the stuff that you didn't see, now see.
I hope that's the limit. I don't want them to go.
I don't think they will.
To start adding a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
My hopes were low. my expectations were low, and now like as it gets closer, we see the stuff. Like my expectation and my hopes are getting higher.
I'm trying not to, but
Yeah.
it's kind of hard when we're doing the podcast.
Yeah, so
we're
true.
kind of invested in it.
So true.
So now we get introduced to someone that is exclusive to the books. Chapter notable number 2, a house elf named Winky. She was saving a seat for her, not mentioned in this chapter, but mentioned in this podcast episode, someone who we met last chapter, Barty Crouch. Rewind it a little bit if that didn't make any sense, because I can see how it wouldn't.
Yes.
So she's afraid of heights, and she even knows who Harry Potter was. She also knows Dobby, which she was mistaken for Dobby. And I'm going to include some dialogue here because up until now, we've only heard of Dobby briefly. And
We've not heard of him briefly.
well, no, we've heard of Dobby, but he briefly describes
Oh.
the house elves. But if we all know Dobby, he's not quite up to the standard definition of house elf, I guess.
Well, and I think we can safely say he's not a typical house elf.
No.
Right?
no.
He's very, very atypical.
Yeah. But Winky, on the other hand, she's played by the rules.
Through and
this
through.
This is what a house elf is. And yeah.
So Harry turns around. They see Winky. And Harry first thinks that she's Dobby because she sees the ears and all that stuff. Dobby. And
He
then
hasn't seen
Winky.
another house elf.
Yeah, so Winky pops up. So she mentions that she knows Dobby. And he goes, "Oh, how is Dobby? How is freedom suiting him?"
And I like it because it says Mr. Weasley and Ron both turn around because they haven't met Dobby either.
Yeah, and it sounds like in this chapter, Ron has never even seen a house elf.
Yeah, which baffles me.
Because when they get done, he's like, "Oh, so that's what a house elf." I also have another question when we're done with this dialogue that I want you to think about.
Let's see if you remember. Let's see if I do a good Winky. Sir, meaning no disrespect, sir, but I is not sure you did Dobby a favor, sir, when you were setting him free.
Why? What's wrong with him?
Freedom is going to Dobby, sir. Freedom is
Dobby's
going to
head.
Dobby's head, sir. Ideas above his action, sir. Can't get another position, sir.
Why not?
He is paying for his work, sir.
Paying? Well, why shouldn't he be paid?
House elves is not paid, sir. No. I says to Dobby, go find yourself a nice family and settle down, Dobby. He's getting all up to sorts of hijinks, sir. What is unbecoming to a house elf? You goes racketing around like this, Dobby, I says, and the next thing I hear, you pop up in the front of the department for the regulation and control of magical creatures like some common goblin.
Well, it's about time he had a bit of fun.
House elves is not supposed to have fun, Harry Potter. House elves does what they is told. I is not liking heights at all, Harry Potter, but my master sends me to the top box, and I come, sir.
Why is he setting you up here if he knows you don't like heights?
Master wants me to save him a seat, Harry Potter. He is very busy. Winky is wishing she is back in Master's tent, Harry Potter. But Winky does what she is told. Winky is a good house elf.
Number one, I think your Winky
Was terrible, yeah.
was fantastic. I loved it.
I think it was
I loved
terrible.
I loved every bit of it. Number two, my question, so when I first read this, I was like, how does one house elf know another house elf?
Well, Dobby showed up to the kitchens for work, and that's where Winky was.
Where was she?
Well, right now she's in the top box, but she works in the kitchens, right, at Hogwarts? Oh, wait. Yeah, she's Barty
Jeremiah.
Crouch. She belongs to Barty Crouch, right?
She's the Crouch's family elf, right? So if Dobby was working for the Malfoys and Winky works for the Crouches, she's like, yeah, I know Dobby. How? What do you get? You guys get Tuesday nights off to go to the bar? Like, how do you know? How do you know? My only hypothesis is Dobby's gone around to wizarding families,
which he seems to do.
Which, seems to do. And maybe he went to the Crouches, and maybe that's how he talked to Winky.
Do you think Lucius has ever brought him down to the Ministry? Because he seems to frequent the Ministry.
Well, do you think Barty would have brought Winky to the Ministry? Like, it just seems like it seems like a weird, like, Winky, how do you know Dobby? Anyway.
I mean, knowing Lucius, he's probably been to the Crouches.
Well, yeah, but I don't think you would take your house elf places.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's, because when we meet Creature never leaves, Creature, until he's being
he
sneaky.
Also doesn't like Dobby.
Right. So anyway, I thought that was neat. That question just popped up, as I was reading. It's like, well, where was the occasion?
Huh. I never thought about that. Yeah.
Well, my fun hypothesis is that, house elves are magical creatures, right? So if house elves are magical creatures, once everybody in the house is asleep and all of their chores are done, can they just pop out? Right? Like, can they, they've got families, they were born.
Yeah.
So anyway, completely off topic, but that's what you get here at Squib's Corner. So, like, again, it sounds like Ron's never seen a house elf, but he didn't seem to care much for them, once.
And by the way, I did look it up. But it's after she gets dismissed that she goes to Hogwarts and is working. So that's
we see her. We see her again in this book. So you weren't wrong.
It's after the fact, yeah.
Yeah, but at this point she was not working in the kitchens.
Yeah, it was on the wrong timeline,
as you incorrectly guessed.
What grade? What
grade would you give yourself here?
I don't know. When we get there, I'll come back and say that I was correct.
That's right. So, but he really didn't care about Winky because he's got these sweet new pair of I assume binoculars, omnioculars. I don't know if that's a monocular, so I don't know how you look into these omnioculars. And this kind of answers a question that I asked in the last chapter. So he's using the omnioculars to look at a man pick his nose over and over and over again. So last chapter, I think I asked something along the lines of, does it just work in sports? Like, would it just, after this is over, is it something that, because I feel like the omnioculars would have been something really cool for Harry, Ron, and Hermione, especially in book 7.
Yeah, they seem like a really good thing to
a really good tool, to, especially, my thought was, why Harry wasn't like, oh my gosh, I can use these this school year and watch the Slytherins practice and just watch it over and over. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like this is
assume there's an enchantment on him that kind of shuts him down after the
maybe. Tournament. Yeah, it's kind of disappointing that they're not brought up again, but
they sound so expensive.
Yes. Yeah. So as people are showing up, Percy kept bowing to everyone. Obviously, we're in a top box. We're getting the ministry officials are up there. And when the Minister of Magic showed up, oh my gosh, he's such a suck up, is what he is.
Yes, he is.
He's such a suck up. And so when the Minister of Magic comes up, Percy bowed so low that his glasses fell off and shattered. Highly embarrassed, he repaired them with his wand and thereafter remained in his seat, throwing jealous looks at Harry because, chapter notable number 3, Cornelius Fudge had greeted him like an old friend, right? Harry Potter. And as they continued to sit, there was another family there that we haven't seen yet in this book, but obviously we've seen them many times. And we're just meeting Lucius, Draco, and Narcissa Malfoy.
Well,
And
real quick, everybody disregard that chapter notable number 3. I forgot to take it out. But that's how close I was to putting it in there.
disregard that chapter notable number 3. But what's interesting here is that when Lucius talks to the minister, he introduces his wife to the minister as like, because like they've never met, but the Malfoys have been very generous and close with the minister, and Malfoy being on the board, the governors of the school. You feel like they would have met before this point, but introduces.
Do you think Lucius tries to portray himself more important than he is?
So, and I'm going to do this as a sweeping generalization. Most people, not most people, there are people that are only important because they're wealthy. Okay, and if you take away their wealth, they've not contributed, especially the Malfoys. You assume that Lucius's wealth is inherited, and he's really just used it to feel important, right? When you're wealthy, you can be close to all of the people.
As people with money do.
As people with money do. Now, whether that's right or wrong, there really is no answer. Obviously, I would love for my children to inherit a lot of wealth and be good people about it.
That's the main part.
But Lucius, I feel like if he had no wealth, he would be just a non-contributor. A non-contributor. Though you could be argued that, well, if he didn't have that wealth, he would have been raised completely different, not spoiled, and he would have worked, right? There's a lot of things that go into it.
Lucius has an interesting arc, and I think if you don't pay attention to the arc, you don't notice it.
Yes. His is a very
subtle.
There's the undertone of him.
And the way it's done, it's still
it's not a typical arc, right? It's pretty good.
It's good though. It's good.
Yeah. So Lucius, Draco, Narcissa, they're there, and then Lucius drops this great, insult, because you've got all of the Weasley children and Harry and Hermione, and then you hear Lucius, "Good Lord, Arthur, what did you have to sell to get seats in the top box? Surely your house wouldn't have fetched this much." And if you've been listening to all of our episodes, you might guess why the Malfoys are up there, kissing up to Fudge, the Minister for Magic. Now here's what's like two sides to each coin, right? Two sides to a coin. This time, Lucius gets these tickets because he made a large donation to St. Mungo's Hospital for Magical Maladies and Injuries. You're like, you jerk! You donated to the hospital. Oh, you donated to the hospital,
right?
That's right. Okay. I can get.
You suck up. That was
really noble of you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you're like, okay. So you would think that if Ludo Bagman could just give Arthur Weasley 10 tickets, then these seats can't be that expensive.
I mean, they're probably pretty expensive.
Probably pretty expensive, but Ludo's just like, yeah, here, take 10 tickets. I could see 1 or 2 tickets in the top box, but 10 of them.
It's that collusion you keep talking about.
It's collusion, and it's all magic anyway, right? Yeah. We put an enlargement charm on the box. We can put as many people as we want to. Yeah. So, Malfoy could have obviously easily purchased the tickets, but maybe he had to make the donation to get invited by the Minister for Magic, which means a lot more than just buying the tickets.
True. Yeah. I think there's several ways you can look at it, and it all has to do with however you want to look at that arc. whether you think it's arc or whether you think it's how Lucius is throughout the whole book.
Sure.
It's kind of hidden, but yeah, it's real. He's a very interesting character.
We learned some good stuff about Lucius in this book.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Oh, yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Good. I'm not so sure, but so after all of this mood killer, it was about time for the game to start. And I think this is actually chapter notable number 3.
I mean, could you imagine though? Like now that you say that, could you be like, Harry is on top of the world. Harry's like, this is the Quidditch World Cup. This is the greatest thing. There are 100,000 wizards here. Draco's sitting right behind you. Like what? What the heck, man?
Yeah. So great. Oh, it's not that great. Right now we have a new spell alert, though. Sonorous, which has Dumbledore used that at this point? I want to say he has.
I don't think he's had to. Yeah, I don't think Dumbledore's done it.
Yeah, this is a pretty simple. Well, I don't know if it's actually simple, but it seems like a simple spell. It basically mimics a microphone or a megaphone. You just point your wand at your throat and speak clearly for all to hear. It's pretty nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Little Bagman introduced the mascots for the first time. Andrew.
Yeah, bud.
As sports go, the final game starts the count of an endless amount of finals. Right? Like you got Super Bowl 10, Super Bowl 20, 30, 40, right? Each year sounding and expecting to be more and more impressive. What number Quidditch World Cup finals are we in?
Ooh.
No, you got nothing.
Stop it.
You got nothing.
400. I want to say 450. But she wouldn't just do 450. It would be like 452. That's my guess.
So close. 422.
Ah, 422! Ah!
So close.
So close.
So first up for the mascots,
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop eating those tongue toffees during the podcast.
First up for the mascots for Bulgaria, finally we have the legitimate chapter notable number 3. The Veela. So Veela are very beautiful women. Not just beautiful, but enchanting, mesmerizing, and hypnotizing. But when they get mad, different story. Their faces elongate into sharp-beaked bird heads, and long, scaly wings burst out from their shoulders. So they kind of look like a nightmare. I wanted to say a monster, but I think nightmare sounds a little bit better.
Yeah.
And maybe you can help me with this. So I've heard of magical creatures kind of like these, but I can't think of the name off the top of my head. I can only remember them as like a beautiful person, like the Veela, but they reel you in, and then once they get you there, they turn into this nightmare of a thing.
Almost like a siren. Like I know in like ocean lore, so like in the Odyssey, and I want to say Greek and Roman, but Greek mythology, like when you're at sea, you would hear the siren song, right? The siren call, and the ships would like go to it because it's so beautiful. And then you get there, and then the sirens take you, and they're women. But I can't think of.
I tried to look it up, but there's several different variances of it, and I can't remember which is the one. Could be a version of all of them.
Or it could just be something that she was like, hey, I've heard of this. Let me make it my own. Because they also throw fire.
Yeah.
not spit fire. They throw fire. So, yeah. And we don't, other than,
She took some stuff from the Street Fighters, too, huh?
Hadouken!
Hey, the Street Fighter, they're coming out with a movie.
They are coming out with the movie. I saw that.
Completely not sponsored, but if you want to sponsor us, go for it.
This episode brought to you by Street Fighter, the movie.
Yeah, I'm totally going to watch that because when I play Mortal Kombat, I'm like, oh, this is nice. It doesn't really hit like Street Fighter, though. Yeah. So I'm definitely going to watch that. And it has Cody Rhodes in it, which he's from the WWE.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, that'll be nice. So these Veela they're hypnotizing you so much that you start doing things you don't notice. And
the men,
yeah.
When they start dancing. Yeah, they start dancing, and it's their dance that entrances people.
Well,
Men.
It's also the sound that they're making too. But I'll give you one instance here, and I have to pull this straight from the book. So the Veela had started to dance, and Harry's mind had gone completely and blissfully blank. All that mattered in the world was that he kept watching the Veela, because if they stopped dancing, terrible things would happen. He wanted to do something very impressive right now. Jumping from the box into the stadium seemed like a good idea. But would it be good enough?
Harry, what are you doing?
It's so great.
Hermione's so disgusted.
Ron is doing something weird too, and I think Arthur's just kind of sitting there laughing.
Yeah, I think it's funny. It's almost like the Veela are the anti-Dementor, right? Almost kind of the opposite of the Dementor.
Yeah.
But it's very
until you piss them off.
Until you upset them. But at this point we've not seen their dark side. We've only seen that they've come out. They're very beautiful. They're dancing. And
the movies, I think, do them a disservice.
Are they in the movie?
I think so. So when Bulgaria comes out here, I think Ron sees the girls and he's like, "Oh, Veela." I think.
No, I think he sees a girl and says that she's part Veela.
Okay.
If I remember.
Which
I don't think the movie really gives much credence to the Veela.
No, because I don't think the actor, although she was a great actor, I don't think she portrayed the Veela good enough in my.
See, that's
like I look at her and I go, "Oh, she's pretty," but
that's what's
hypnotizing and mesmerizing. No.
I mean, because she's obviously a beautiful girl, right? But it's so difficult when you write something.
Yeah.
Right? You write this character. Before the movies come out, you've read this and you think of something completely different than what I think of.
Well,
Everyone
didn't even have the movies in mind. So.
It's exactly. She's she's like, I'm writing here, and we're reading.
Yeah.
And then because when it comes to beauty, you want to talk about subjectivity. What your standards of beauty are not my standards of beauty. And so, some people watch the movie and they're like, "Oh, she was perfect." And in my head, I'm like, "Oh, this girl would have been better," or "This girl would have." Yeah. There's just girls that I have a different attractiveness level too. I thought, she played it great. She did it great. Yeah, she did it great. So that's very difficult. But we don't see a Veela in the movies, if I recollect.
Interesting. Man,
do we even see the Quidditch World Cup in the movie? We do see him. Yeah, we do see him. I know we spin around because I remember seeing Viktor Krum.
If we do, it's very brief.
Yeah, I think it's very brief. We'll find out at the, if this is your first time listening to the podcast or watching, I'm not a huge fan of the movies. Only because they leave so much of the book out.
Now I'm just thinking of all of this, like the series, like Oh my God, they have so much weight on their shoulders. To be anybody in a, no matter what, I'm gonna love it.
Yeah.
The work, the pressure. Oh man, I'm not gonna say anything negative about it. 'Cause they had tremendous pressure.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord, could you imagine?
Yeah,
Could you imagine being an actor on that show? It would be great. But could you also imagine deleting all of your social media?
Jeez Louise. And here's and it's almost like it's almost like there might even be some freedom with that as well, because it's like, look, you're not going to completely satisfy any one person that's a Harry Potter book fan. They're going to find something wrong no matter what you do, right? You can't. Even the actors are probably like, I really wish we would have done it this way. It's like, did you watch any of the Witcher?
No.
Great, they did a really good job, but Henry Cavill was a huge fan of the video game and the books, and the reason that he is not in the next season is because he would fight back a lot on this isn't how it would have been done.
That's good though. That's a good quality.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, do we see that in this? So there's almost like a look, we're not gonna please everybody. We're not gonna please everybody every time. So let's just go out and make a good show.
I have faith. I just have, because I'm thinking of this whole Quidditch World Cup and the Veela and the leprechauns. I'm just thinking about that, you know.
In the movie, they do the weighing of the wands. And Ollivander is examining the wands, and he's like,
"Oh yeah, that's right." Yeah.
And her thing is, there's a Veela hair is the core of her wand. Yeah. And Ollivander, at least in the book, is like, "Oh, that's kind of unstable. I would never use that." And she's like, "Oh, it was the hair of my grandmother." And that's when Harry's like, "Oh, I got to tell Ron."
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So I think that's the only time that they talk about it.
We're gonna try to not to harp so much on this series, but like it's a huge thing, and it's hard to avoid.
It'll be cool. I think to sum it all up, we wish them well. We hope it's great, and we look forward to seeing it. Right, but we're gonna be our episode reviews.
They're gonna knock it out of the park. I'm just at this point, it's like, what are they gonna put in it? What are they gonna put in it? What are we gonna get to see?
Yeah,
it's not. What are they gonna? They're gonna add stuff and ruin it. No, it's what are we gonna get to see? That's all I have in my head right now. Ugh.
It's exciting,
but and are we gonna get to see? Yeah.
We don't even
spell in Harry Potter.
We don't know who's playing Voldemort.
I know they keep trying to like put rumors out and everything, but I'm like, no, just save it.
We do not know. So so we meet the Veela. They are the Bulgarian mascots. Now we meet the Ireland team mascot, which is leprechauns, right? Low-hanging fruit. That makes so much sense. And it's also a magical creature, and it's also one that Muggles believe in. We celebrate, we associate, leprechauns. So it's a great description. So again, let's just go to the book right here. So after the Veela, next moment, what seemed to be a great green and gold comet came zooming around the stadium. It did one circuit of the stadium, then split into two smaller comets, each hurtling towards the goalpost. A rainbow arced suddenly across the field, connecting two balls of light. The crowd oohed and ahed as though at a fireworks display. Now the rainbow faded, and the balls of light reunited and merged. They had formed a great shimmering shamrock, which rose up into the sky and began to soar over the stands. Something like golden rain seemed to be falling from it. Ron scooped up a bunch of coins, tried to give the money to Harry as repayment for the omnioculars. Later, we don't find this out in this chapter, but you've added it to this chapter review.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I don't like that, but we're going to do it. Because
if you tell the people we don't know about it yet, then they're going to know. But if you don't say anything, then they don't know.
It's okay. It's okay. Because it is fun in the books how we find out about this.
Well, I don't say the reason that I put it in here. So
okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so as we find out later, chapter notable number 4, which shouldn't be a chapter notable at all because it's not in this chapter, what's falling is leprechaun gold. And later in the book, we learn that leprechaun gold is not real gold and that it disappears after a time.
I would be so mad.
Especially
I would be so happy and then so mad later. And I would think somebody stole all my money.
Well, and you got to imagine, like, Mr. Weasley, where are you? Bill, where are you? You work for a bank. You've got to be looking over at, Ron and Harry. They're like,
I could just see Mr.
idiots.
Weasley
Yeah.
going.
And so Ron's giving Harry all these galleons, and he's like, now you have to buy me a Christmas present. And I was like, geez. So we've met the mascots. Now it's time to introduce the Bulgaria team with the notable person here being chapter notable number 5, Viktor Krum, to which Ron is a huge fan. Huge fan. And we also introduced the Ireland team, who was flying on firebolts, as were the Bulgarians. And Harry's got to feel like super pumped. Pumped. They're like, we had the same group.
I love the firebolt.
Yeah. So then we meet our referee for the final. It's going to be Hassan Mustafa from Egypt, an acclaimed chair wizard of the International Association of Quidditch. And he's got a big task. And then the game begins.
Yes. So I'm not going to go into too many details about the game because it's just taking too much out of the book. You can go back and read the chapter, but it is done very well. And if you haven't read it or it's been a while, go back and read it because it is fun. It is fun.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not a sports guy, it's fun. But one thing I can say is this game is obviously a step up from the kids at school playing Quidditch.
Yeah, even Harry mentions, he's like, wow, I've never seen Quidditch like this.
So, like when Harry's playing Quidditch, there's a lot of excitement, especially when it comes to the Dementors, which are not here.
We don't like to talk about that game.
Yeah, we're kind of done with the Dementors for
and obviously neither does J.K. Rowling because she didn't mention it in the conversation between Amos Diggory and Harry Potter. But whatever. Just leave out those important facts.
You digest, and I know it's
digest or digress.
I know it's digress, but I say digest. Hey, at least it didn't add any letters or syllables. But it talks about here that they're passing the quaffle back and forth so fast that Ludo Bagman only has enough time to say the names of who has the quaffle, which...
Yeah.
So we go to the omnioculars. So not only can you play back what just happened, but you can also, make the game go slower. You can speed it up. But the coolest part, in my opinion, is that there's green writing on the inside of the omnioculars that tells you, I guess for lack of better description, the play that is happening.
Yeah.
So, what a way to learn. Like you get these omnioculars and you get to learn what everything is called, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. But
everything is happening so fast. Harry wants to slow down the game so that he can see everything that's happening.
You can tell Harry is a student of the game.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
He's like, oh, what is that? Let's turn this back. Let's slow that down. Let me watch that again.
Yeah. I mean, are the omnioculars in this instance, are they worth having? Because you're not really, you're paying attention, but you're also not paying attention.
Yeah. Well, and here's the question now. If you're not paying attention to something in the omnioculars, can you replay it or slow it down? It's not like a camera. It's not like your TVR. You're not recording the game. you're
I would
like
assume it's
watching.
capturing everything if you could rewind it and speed it up. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question. But what's funny about this is he's watching it slow down and kind of forgets that it's slowed down because I get maybe it looks like normal speed at this point, and then he hears Troy scores.
The game is still happening, Harry, whether you're watching it in slow-mo or not.
Harry's just going, what?
Yeah.
And Hermione's like, Harry, if you're not going to watch at normal speed, you're going to miss things.
Yes. Yes. So,
And I like how Hermione, she's like, it's weird to see her like excited about Quidditch because she doesn't really give a crap about Quidditch. But, in the instances she does get excited, I'm like, oh, that's different.
well, and I can also imagine Hermione and Harry are still getting introduced to the wizarding world.
Yeah.
So this is the first time that Hermione, because she talks about, last chapter, it talked about when they were looking at the other, families and people from around the world. She's like, oh, I've read about this, but I've never seen it. So even this, it's like me. I am not a NASCAR fan, but I've been to NASCAR races and they're a blast. I'm not a baseball fan, but I've been to Major League Baseball games and they're a blast. So Hermione, just being in the atmosphere, watching the world's best of the best play Quidditch, her best friend, Harry, plays and is really good at Quidditch. I'm sure that she's into this as well.
Well, that's a good thing for JK to put in there. Like, I'm the same way. I don't like sports, but put me at a game, it's pretty fun. Like my son's game.
Yeah.
There's one guy there he's always yelling at his son, like, corrections. I'm like, I'm not that guy. And then all of a sudden, I'm, Noah, tuck in his shirt.
Yes.
Noah. I'm like,
yes.
I'm turning into that guy.
Yes.
And I'm having fun and I'm trying to help him, which
Yeah.
I know. Hey, Dad, you're making me nervous. You're lowering my confidence, and I know I need to stop it. So
yeah. So they're watching the game, omnioculars, giving play-by-plays. It's all really cool. Kind of a summary up to this point is that the game is actually a brutal game. Like the Bulgarians and the Irish, it's become a very physical game. There's fouls going on. You've got a lot of stuff happening. So Ireland scores, and Ireland is scoring at a rapid pace compared to the Bulgarians. And then there's fouls called and different things. All of this is getting the crowd. It's like any game, right? Any game when there's a foul called on your player, refs got it right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But when they call it, against your player, you're like, wow, ref, what are you doing? Well, the Veela, they don't like this. So they kept showing up. They're trying to distract the other team, right? They're trying to distract people in the crowd. Arthur, Mr. Weasley's telling everybody, okay, here they come. Push your finger in the ears. Don't, try to avoid the hypnosis. Just don't even look at him, right? And at one point, the referee's down there, and he's trying to tell a couple players off, and the Veelas start coming at him, and he's like, he falls under the trance. He starts flexing his muscles, smoothing out his mustache. He's super excited to be in front of these beautiful women. Now, here's the thing. This is not far from the truth from the average male. If there are beautiful women in front of him, he will change his posture. He will change his voice. Now you add a magical element to it, that man has completely lost, his conscious behavior, right? So then the referee, they figure out, he gets, kind of woken up. He tries to then send the Veela out of the game. He tries to get them
that's good.
off the pitch, which then the Veela get upset. Then Bulgarian players come down. They start yelling at him. Now the Leprechauns are having a blast. Not only is Ireland winning at this point, but now the other mascots are getting sent off, and it's mayhem. But while this is happening, two whistles. Now Ireland's getting two more penalty shots, right? So like, and the leprechauns, what are they? They're writing something in the sky, like laughing, hee hee, something like that. So they're totally go Ireland is just loving it. So going back to the match itself, we learn something, and especially Harry sees this move. It's called the Wronski feint, and we only bring this up because Harry is like, we got to do this. And so,
which he could, and I think
he's sort of
has.
done it. Yeah,
he kind of has.
Yeah, he's sort of done it before, but Viktor Krum, who's obviously the seeker for Bulgaria, he starts diving like he's seen the Snitch, which means that the Ireland seeker is going to follow him, right? So he's following him. They get super close to the ground. Viktor pulls up. The Irish seeker does not, injures himself. And then, the Bulgarians, they keep playing, right? The game doesn't stop because somebody gets injured. They keep playing. And so Harry's like, ooh, the Wronski feint. Let me, watch this over and over. And then, and even it gets super, super physical. Viktor Krum, at one point, his nose gets broken. And his nose is bleeding, and a broom has been caught on fire, and somebody's been knocked out, right? All of this is happening. The mayhem is happening, and Ireland is just destroying Bulgaria. It's not even close. And in the end, chapter notable number 6, Viktor Krum catches the golden snitch, thus ending the game. Bulgaria ends up scoring 160 points. Remember that catching the snitch is worth 150 points. So Bulgaria had 160 points to Ireland, who did not catch the stitch, and each goal is worth 10 points, has 170 points. So Viktor Krum caught the snitch, but Bulgaria loses the game. The Quidditch World Cup was awarded to Ireland. Chapter notable number 7, if you remember from the last chapter, Fred and George bet that Ireland would win the game and Viktor Krum would catch the snitch. And Ludo Bagman gave them great odds for that, which means their 37 galleons plus is going to pay off greatly. So they're like, yeah, we got to go collect our winnings from Ludo Bagman. And then game's over. We hear the Bulgarian prime minister like, oh, well, we fought very hard. and Fudge is like, you speak English this whole time? And he's like, yes, it was rather funny. It was rather funny. So,
and that Harry's defending Krum. He knew they were way behind. There was no way they could catch up. He wanted to get it on his terms.
On his terms. His terms. Yeah. Harry was in it. So, but it is.
Everybody's saying this guy is the best. What an idiot. He just lost the game.
Yeah, and especially when we've learned multiple times that Quidditch games can last forever. And there have been World Cup finals that have lasted for days. It was super short. So, I don't know if Viktor was under the impression that, well, we don't want to lose 370 to 30. The scoreboard looks much better if we win. If we lose 170 to 160.
He'd broken his nose and he probably couldn't really see. A little confused, maybe.
Yeah.
So, I think we could chalk it up to that. Yeah, so even though this chapter, in my opinion, is a prelude to what's to come, like I said, I was a little disappointed the Dark Mark wasn't part of this chapter, but, it's all good. It was still a great chapter. Great
and
chapter.
It was a longer chapter. We've had some short chapters in the book, so I could see why she made it too. Again, I think there's a lot of stuff that happens in the Dark Mark, but fun chapter. All around fun chapter to get the Quidditch World Cup, to see that we've got this, just another level of Quidditch and the Veela and the leprechauns and the it's a cool. She does a great job. Everyone reading this saw it, felt it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like it was just really well done.
Yeah, really well done. So thank you everybody for listening or watching or however it is you're getting this into your ears. If you can leave a comment or a like or some sort of feedback, go ahead and do it. It'll help push us out. And who is everybody need to share this with?
Ooh, all of your Potter friends.
Yes. And join us next time while we review the Dark Mark. And we're going to do a little duel sign out. You'll stay with me?
Until the very end.
Squib's Corner is hosted by Jeremiah Lobaugh and co-hosted by Andrew Beecham, myself. We would love to hear from you, so drop us a rate and review. To inquire about being a guest, or if you have questions, comments, or just want to give us your Harry Potter story, email us at squibscorner@gmail.com. To watch Harry Potter merch unboxings, follow Jeremiah's YouTube, Accio Potter Guy. Lastly, you can leave us a voice memo and follow us on Instagram at Squib's Corner Podcast.